Hello everyone and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program, Rise of the Dark Fog. And in the last episode, we were able to start in on our yellow science, and we are doing pretty good with it. We're getting quite a bit of it collected up, and we should be able to kind of knock out some researches that we need today. As you can see, we have quite a bit of the yellow science saved up, and we're ready to do some yellow sciencey things. So in the background, I will probably just do a few mech upgrades to get our guy as high end as we possibly can, while at the same time, I'll probably try to knock out a few of the things that we need to continue our playthrough. But with that said, yeah, we have quite a bit of science being created as far as the crystals and the diamonds, but I did see a flaw in our system. The main flaw being that I guess I did actually hook this up to the diamonds, and I probably should have put them on their own energetic graphite. So that's kind of a small problem that we're going to fix. The other thing is we seem to have plenty of the crystals, so we probably could make a lot more of these titanium crystals. Now, the titanium crystals do require us to make a few adventures to our titanium planet, but that is something that I hope to remedy in this episode. I would really like to try to get into our interstellar logistics systems. Oh, baby. So that is something that we definitely want to try to get into today. The one thing that I do worry about a little bit is, though, that we have the hive here kind of in between us and Eta Puppis IV. So there's going to be a few times that we're going to have to go completely across the star system and probably run into the hive. I really don't know how our guys are going to react to that. I, can't really control, I don't think, how they go back and forth to the planet. I can't tell them, like, take the shortest path or stay away from the hive. So I'm kind of curious as to how that works. I'm sure the hive will shoot them down, but, until then. So first thing, like I said, we need to try to adjust this down, and probably I'm thinking about pulling this over, kind of how we have the blue science over here. Red science doesn't really need anything because all that stuff is easy, the energetic graphene, and then we pull the hydrogen from somewhere else. But I'm thinking that I might just kind of put this over here in a little bit bigger area and then move a few of these things down to kind of make some space. And then probably fill in this watering hole here because it's not really useful anymore. But yeah, I think we can probably adjust this a little bit to get a bit better efficiency out of our yellow science, and then maybe even stack those towers up a lot higher so we can be pumping out that yellow science as we need it. The other thing is we'll probably need another source of coal, and I'm thinking that we can probably use this coal vein and this one over here, and we'll just plop that sucker into a logistics towers. I kind of did that on a lot of things, getting some of the extra that we have in logistics towers so that when we need the items, we'll be able to use them wherever we want. So that being said, let's just copy paste this guy over here, and I think that'll probably be the easiest way to do it. Like so. Maybe a little bit farther over, do the little shift enter, get things where there should be. Then the other thing we'll do is we'll probably just plop these guys, rotate them around right next to it like so, and get like double the crystals coming out of this sucker. And then we'll pop it in over here into the main line as we need it. So it'll just come up and go in, and then we can bring in whatever else we need from there. So now that that is done, the big shift, it's time for the big shift. I'm thinking of doing is I'll just go ahead and delete all of this stuff here, get it out of the way, and all of this as well. We'll probably not need any of this, and then I will just copy paste a little piece of it over here to use as a diagram or a layout. Okay, and with that, our copy paste completion is done, and we destroyed everything over there, and we left ourselves quite a mess. 99 plus items over here. So if you didn't know, you can use the like target thing and kind of just suck everything to you and get it out of your way if you want to kind of clean a space up, which I tend to do quite often because I leave messes everywhere I go. But it is kind of fun as well, watching this kind of explode around you. The energetic graphene will be made right here. So we will do probably just the same makeup we've got here. And, you know, we can just copy paste this over like so. And then build it right here. Bam. Energetic graphene will be done. Shift enter, it's done. We'll have to hook up the outputs. I don't know why, or the inputs. I don't know why it never hooks up the inputs when I do it like that, but you know, whatever. C'est la vie. So that'll bring in all of our energetic graphene. Now, with our copy paste stuff over here, it will be real easy to come over to this diamond area and do the same thing again. So we will just copy paste, bring it over here, and we'll just have it kind of loop around like we kind of do most of the time and come back on here. We'll have to fix that belting, but not a big deal. So that means all of the diamonds done. So we can just get rid of that production line. Perfect. Just like that. So fixing of the belts and things of that nature, we can do that kind of on the side. It's not a big deal. So this is going to be our output. So it'll output our diamonds out to here. And this will be just kind of a closed loop system. Not too difficult to maintain. Easy peasy. So what's going to be next? Well, you guessed it. More energetic graphene. Why, you might ask? Well, because we need it for the plastic and all the other stuff. So we'll just plop in another energetic graphene line there with a coal line that's going to be coming from probably a logistics station that we'll put maybe around here. And we'll have our coal coming from the two areas over there into this for the two graphenes that we have here. So that's that for the graphenes. Now, with all that deleted, now we need to really think about is the plastics and the crystals. Now, I know that these are kind of built in a loop and all that stuff, but we've saved ourselves a ton of space. And I really think that we could probably do more plastic and more crystals if we just organize this a little bit. So the first thing I want to do is copy over these guys and get them kind of positioned in a way that's gonna give us the maximum amount of space. So I think I think we're gonna bring it this way quite a bit. So I'm gonna kind of shift this to here. Now we'll have to bring that graphene a little bit around to get into this differently, but we can figure out the logistics of it. And we've got space here if we need to nuzzle this a little bit closer to the stone. And then the last thing will be bringing over our crystal, and I think we'll put it like right up against that and maybe somewhere around here. And I think we can go this way with it, or we can go that way with it, and then bringing in all of our belting in all of our stuff. That's not going to be too difficult. The titanium can go up and over. It's not a big problem. And there we go. Everything is hooked up, rocking and rolling. Science is back to being made. We did shift this down just a little bit so we can get this titanium through nice and flat, up and over. We got crystals being made. We've got diamonds being made. We've got tons of plastic being made. We basically doubled our crystal here production, and we're making tons of these titanium crystals now. So science engaged. We got it way higher. We've got the level 3 sorters going in there. Kind of handcrafted a few of those so that we could get them in there. Yeah, so now we got tons of science being made. So what do we want to unlock? Well, we unlock the planetary logistics. So now we need to do the interstellar logistics systems. To get the interstellar, we're going to have to get the reinforced thrusters, and that just requires some red science. So that should be no problem at all. So let's go ahead and queue that up as well. And it's going to give us our ships for that at the same time. Now, the gas giant, we definitely want that. So we need the interstellar power transmission first before we can even queue that up. So this is the main goal of today, to try to get these automated and working. So you'll need the high strength titanium alloy to get any of this stuff. So that is, oh boy, titanium and steel and sulfuric acid. Okay, so the good thing is that in the background, your boy Atto, he was planning ahead. I handcrafted a few extra logistics stations and I hooked them up to a few of the materials that we've got laying around that are just not doing anything. We have energetic graphene here, we have the particle containers and the graphene here as well. So that was just kind of my back end plan, making sure that we have everything that we need that is just things that are just producing extra. And yeah, I think it's going really well. That way I can pull in items off of the bus and not have to run mega lines. I've even got coal going into one station over here. So yeah, if I ever needed any more coal, no problem. All right, so let's wait for this science to get done. And in the background, we'll kind of get some preparations going. And by preparations, I mean run back to our planet a few dozen times to get our titanium again, because we're gonna need lots of titanium. I mean, we're making all those crystals and doing all our stuff, and this is part of the problem that I want to solve. My space is so limited of how much I can pull back. Now there's a little trick that you can do, and I'd be happy to show you. If you press Control after you open a box and try to grab the materials, it'll hold it on your mouse here. And the cheat is that you can walk around with this in your hand for as long as you want. And then you just fly back to your planet with 15,000 titanium ingots in your hand, plus whatever you've got in your inventory. So it's a little bit on the cheaty side, but yeah, it works. The one difficult thing is it is kind of hard to aim at your planet. You can't select it and get that little navigational arrow that you typically get, but as long as you kind of have an idea, aim for the sun and shoot to the moon, which is our planet, you're doing pretty good. So yeah, with a few of the upgrades that I've gotten on my mech, the trips have been shorter. I can get past a cruising speed of, I think it's up to 2,000 now, but I haven't gone that fast yet. And bam, there we are, back on our planet, and we have a fistful of titanium. So all we got to do now is just go drop it off at the local storage unit, which is the planetary logistics here. As you can see, it's empty. Now it's full. Oh yeah, this works out way better. And then when you go into here, you just click it in and it's all done. As long as you click on an empty box, that is. So yeah, we can fill up our titanium with our hands and then whatever's left over from our inventory. Like I said, kind of cheaty, but honestly, when you're taking 15 trips back and forth to the planet, it totally is worth it. So I've kind of mapped out a little bit of a spot here that we're going to probably put our logistic tower manufacturing right here, right on the edge of science. And it's only going to be temporary. I don't think that this is going to be our permanent location to, you know, make our towers and things. So to build those towers, we're going to need some iron, which is why I've chosen this spot here. So if we look over our buildings and to get the planetary logistics, we're going to need some steel, titanium ingots, the golden processors, and the particle containers. To get the interstellar logistics stations, we'll need those planetary logistics stations that we're making, as well as the titanium alloy and particle containers. If we get a chance, we'll try to do the orbital collectors, but I don't know if we're gonna get to that because it's gonna be quite a process just to make the interstellar ones. And then you need the interstellars to make the orbital collectors. Yeah, it's like a song and dance. We'll set up our manufacturing line to kind of do it, but if we get to it, then we'll see. I don't know if we're gonna have enough time for that. So the first thing would be is to go ahead and get some miners over here to start collecting the resources. And then we'll have that iron come down and go into a whole bunch of smelters, because to do a lot of those products, we're gonna need rings and iron ingots and things of that nature just to make the steel alone. And then we'll probably have it feed into our logistics stations here and have the magnets and the iron ingots going in, but then at the same time we can exit out of it as well. So we'll have it on our main interplanetary system, but we can also have it coming out and feeding into our logistics. So let me set up a quick little smelting array. We've done that a few times and it's no big deal. All right, so we got plenty of iron coming in, splitting off in 3 different directions, 5 different directions, whatever it might be. And we're making all of the magnets and iron ingots that we need. And then it's going directly onto here so that we can get our materials as we need them. And then we can exit them out and feed them into our main system. Now, our main system is going to be this over here. So I've kind of made these as kind of the planetary logistics, you know, just as a reference point. So out of these, we're going to have the golden processors, the titanium ingots, and the particle containers coming down and feeding into our interplanetary logistics system. So that's how we're going to make those. So we'll have to take some of that iron ingots that we're making over there and turn it into steel. That should be no problem. Then those things are going to come down and they're going to feed in the interstellar logistics stations. So from there, though, we'll have to have a few extra things coming off. We'll need more particle containers coming from our planetary logistics. And then we're going to have to make these titanium alloys. So they require a little bit of titanium, steel, and sulfuric acid. We do have sulfuric acid coming in on our interplanetary logistics system. So we just have that coming off of that. Interstellar logistic vessels, we need quite a bit of stuff. I know we have copper ingots coming in on one of the planetary logistics, and we have the magnetic rings and iron ingots already. The only thing we don't have is we'll have to turn some of those iron ingots into gears so that we can have them for the electric motors. Once the electric motors are made, then they go into electromagnetic turbines. Once the turbines are made, those go into the reinforced thrusters. But to make the reinforced thrusters, we need the titanium alloy. So you can see how this is getting a little bit on the complicated side. Now, we will be making titanium alloy up here, but we'll probably have a separate line just for this stuff, because even these guys need the processors, reinforced thrusters, and more titanium alloy to make the interstellar logistic vehicles. Man, it's quite a bit of stuff. And as you can see, I didn't put in the gas collectors because I think that this is going to occupy the rest of our episode here. I think we have to kind of start with getting the towers done. So the towers should be the easiest part of this. And we're probably going to need a secondary planetary logistics station. Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to throw it down here for now, and then we'll just kind of use that as a marker. We know that it's going to have to be here, and it's going to have the sulfur and the titanium and the processors. So those are the 3 things that are going to have to, and the particle containers. So yeah, it's going to need a lot of stuff coming into this. Using 4 items is going to keep the drones pretty busy. Now, granted, we're not using anything here, so I may decide to put one of the items coming into this tower to kind of relieve the stress and load off of the second tower. Just kind of thinking like that's a lot of bots flying back and forth and keeping the numbers. Even though this isn't permanent, I still want to get them done as quickly as possible. So after trying a couple times to use the other tower to get things as I needed it, I decided I was going to go with 2 separate towers, the 2 towers of Middle Earth. So what we'll do is we'll have things come out of the towers and come across here. Now, in this space is probably where I'll do all my steel smelting and gears and things of that nature. I've already got a line of iron ingots exiting here, and then all I need to do is get a line of the magnets exiting out as well. So we can bring that off of here. Maybe we'll fix this up and bring it off of that one. But I think I'll just go ahead and put a little bit of the manufacturing line across here. Probably doing the smelting of the iron, making of the gears, things of that nature. Okay, so I have everything set up as I want it. I'm just doing like 3 of everything. Like I said, it's not permanent. I just want to make enough to get it done. So here's what we got going on. Iron ingots will come in here and make into the gears. The gears will then come out the back, go across and up and over that line to make the electric motors. From this point, we are going to be using the magnets and the copper to make the magnetic coil. And then they're going to come around and go back into here as well. And then the last thing is, since iron is already coming across here, we'll just let it overflow into this. I mean, these guys aren't going to use that much. So then we'll have the iron that these things need. So then they'll exit out the front here and go onto this line where the electromagnetic turbines will pick them up. And then we have a few of the magnetic coils looping back around and into this, trying to utilize our little bit of space as efficiently as possible. From there, we're going to feed them directly into our reinforced thrusters. And from that point, we need the titanium alloy, which is coming in from over here. So one logistic station has all of our sulfuric acid coming in. So it's just pull off a line and put it in. The other two items, the steel and the titanium ingots, we'll need those coming from the other logistic stations. So I'm going to go ahead and request that this be brought over here. And I believe we made a few more trips to get some more titanium. So it should have enough going over there. The steel, on the other hand, will probably be coming from right here. We'll do like a small steel production and we'll loop it back around onto itself and then maybe bring it back and do a little loopy thing. So now the big thing is just demanding all the supplies that we need. So that should be absolutely no problem. Yeah. I mean, it's going to take the bots a lot to... Why are we not charging very much? It's a really slow charge. Is there power next to it? Well, yeah, there's power right next to it. Why are our miners off? What's going on? Oh my gosh. What happened to all of our power? Where is the power? All right, none of these generators are on, but that doesn't surprise me, but all the power is off. So what's going on with our power production? All of these generators are off as well. Oh no. Oh no. And oh my gosh, all of these generators are out too. You know why it is? We're pulling all the oil into our logistics stations because we started demanding that and it was using more oil, and now we have a dark swarm and we're losing power in our mech. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? No panic. Wind power? Yes, wind power. Give me all of the turbines, every wind turbine that we have. Oh my gosh, we ran out of power in our mech. It's like he's moving in slow motion. This is terrible. I can't even get to the places to get some of that energetic graphene that we could use as power, and I have no power on me. I have nothing. I have nothing but windmills. This is quite terrible. Have we just ruined our playthrough by losing power? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm sorry, science, but you must sacrifice for the greater good. And right now, that greatest good is the mech. All right, so what can I do? I need to build a whole bunch of power in a spot with these windmills, but where am I gonna do it? I don't know, isn't this the North Pole? Just start a massive amount of windmills up here. Will this work? We'll start just plopping in a whole bunch of windmills. Like, how many of these are we're gonna need so many windmills. Put one there, and then as far over as I can get, I'll just go around the circle. Okay, so it's allowing us to build them over the water. Maybe it has pity on us, and that doesn't seem right, but we're just going to do it anyways. Windmills for days. How many of these things do we need? Where are we at? Oh my gosh, we're so in the hole. 200. There's no way we're going to get 200. We'll probably have to do things on the South Pole as well. What a mistake I've made. I just got to get enough of these going so that I can get my other power production back up online. And then once that's done, then we can kind of see where our problem is and make the adjustment. I still need another 100-ish megawatts. Oh boy. Okay, so we're no longer in the red. We're in the yellow. I don't even know what that means. Where are we at? Load is still at 130%. What object are you colliding with? Stop colliding with things. Okay, things are moving. Things are moving. Okay, I see things moving, but it's going to create more demand. Oh, it went blue for a second. Oh, are we getting close? What are we at? 103? 106? We're almost there. Oh. I think we're back online. Okay, no, it's still kind of maxed out, but a few more of them just as a safety guard. Oh gosh. Okay, so that's a lot. That's a lot of wind turbines, but it definitely gets us out of the grid, and it gives us about, like, the most I saw was an 82% load. So, okay, like, how do we solve this problem? Now, there is quite a bit of crude oil up here. How many other crude oils do we have, like, laying around? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 untapped ones. Okay, wait a minute. There might be a solution here. What if we just make a large oil burning factory right here? Just nothing but power for factory. I think that would be best. All right, so I'm just quickly trying to, fill in this little slice of the pie. I'm just gonna go on each side of this. We'll try to use that crude oil that's over there. We'll also try to use the 2 that are up here, and then there's like 3 up on this side. There's 1 over there. So we'll just try to, fill in this whole slice and make a whole bunch. I've grabbed every foundation that we have, and I know that we'll probably run out of soil pile as we're doing this, but I'll start building the factory for the refineries and things of that nature. And it'll definitely flatten out a lot of this land. I'm not doing it my typical way, which is being very efficient about it. So we've tapped into all of our crude oil up here, and we have this nice belt coming across here, and it's going down and into the refineries. Yes, I know it looks ugly, but we just won't talk about that. Now we have a set of refineries. Everything is set up, so it's just going to be a copy paste kind of thing. So we'll bring this across like so. Bam. Paste it in. I'll give myself a little bit of a space. I do want to somewhat try to line these up, as it's going to be important later on. All right, and so then I've got it set up so that all of the petroleum comes out on this line, and it'll go that way, and we'll have to fill in some space and make some generators, and then all of the hydrogen goes out the other side so we can get that done. Man, this is nerve-wracking. I'm oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Now I have 400 things that I'm missing. I need more belts. Give me a break. All right, so that's all good. Everything is set up. Everything is built. Wonderful. Everything isn't piped all the way through yet, but that's okay. We're dealing. We're dealing. Calm down. Calm down. We're okay. Try not to work around in circles. So now we're gonna bring all that petroleum down and into these 4 lanes. I think that this is the best way to kind of do it. We'll have we'll probably try to just do 4 maybe instead, and then we'll have ones run on top and then go over. But for now, we're just going to get some power hooked up. We'll do, I don't know, this many in a line, and then we can just power through this. Power. Oh boy. All right, fuel being processed. Great. It's coming down. We did go over the top with it, and we're bringing it across. We're getting these first few generators running. And what's our power grid look like? 900? What? Everything kicked back on and is backed up. But that is not a stable amount of power. We know that that is not a true sense of our power. So this is going to be the true sense of our power. Now that we've got quite a few of these going, I think what we can do is we'll bring the other up and over. So it's not hooked up yet. So all we got to do is, I think, just copy over the recipes. I think we need the same thing for the hydrogen over here. We'll probably, hydrogen doesn't, it burns a little bit different, so we might be able to get away with just hooking this one into that one. That's kind of my hope, at least for now. But let's just get it out of the way so we can continue to produce our petroleum. All right, our power is backing up and things are looping back around. I've kicked on this second set of generators. This is basically all the generators running off of those first 2 lines still. I haven't hooked up anything else. Now, as far as our hydrogen goes, I did the same thing. I just kind of looped it back around itself. Kind of ran out of soil pile, so I stopped building this way. But we have tons of hydrogen and it's going to back up. I don't care if this backs up, just as long as it's burning a consistent amount of fuel for us and getting us what we need. So, all right, that is power averted. And how much are we making? Yes, 1.33 gigawatts. Again, it's not a true sense of our power because of the fact that when we start pulling petroleum off of the logistics towers, and the logistic towers are not actually doing anything right now, but let's go back to the relaxing building of a factory. Okay, so what were we doing over here before we were so rudely interrupted? Yes, building this diagram. That's right. So where are we at? We need to get steel. I think steel is the next thing that we need to put out here. So let's request the goods that we need. We're definitely going to need the titanium. We're going to need golden processors, and we have the sulfuric acid over there. So we can request all those things and get them over here as quickly as possible. We may have to make another trip to our titanium planet by now because I'm sure we've burnt through all of our titanium. So let me lay out the rest of this factory and see where we're at with it. I think we actually probably need to put the steel here and move the titanium down, but let me kind of get this together. All right, so now we've got the steel coming in, and it's going to come in down here and loop around like we have in the past, making sure that we utilize as much of our space as we possibly can. The titanium is going to come in here with the sulfuric acid to make our titanium ingots. And then we have more steel making more titanium ingots over here for the remaining little towers, which I believe this is going to be the planetary logistics on this side. And then we'll do the interstellar logistics towers over here. And then on this side, we're making our interstellar spaceships, and we're just going to pile them up into that. Now we just need to hook it up and make sure it all works, do any troubleshooting, and then see where we need to make some corrections. Okay, so in the middle of the night, we have made our first 2 interstellar logistics stations. So let's put those in our inventory and take a look at these boys. Let's pop one down right here. Boom. Done. That is a chunky boy. Wow, it is so much bigger. Oh, and there's all the little platforms for the ships to sit on. Okay, that makes sense. Now, what do these things get? Oh, they get an extra slot of things, and they can hold drones. I didn't know they took the drones as well. I thought they were just strictly interstellar. All right, so we got to figure out how many of these interstellar logistics vehicles that we can fit on one of these things. I have no idea how many it is. Now, we are currently in the process of making said things right here. All we have to do is allow them to exit and it would probably have as many as we need right now. How many do we think we can get into one of these? So we'll grab them into our inventory, bring them over here. Where are they at? Sirs, where are you? There we are. So how many fits in one of these? 10. So 10 vehicles. Oh, look, they're right there. Oh my gosh, they're right there. That's so cool. I love it. They look so neat. We got like cargo bays and everything. Ah, nice. So how do we set this up? If I want titanium ingots, I could say it's a local supply, but a remote demand, remote being another planet, I guess. And then it can supply all the titanium that I need locally once it gets here with the little drones. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So it's like a one-stop shop. These are like kind of nice and maybe even a little bit better. Nah, you still want the little towers because they fit nicer in smaller spaces. Okay, so we definitely need to return to our other planet, and we need to bring at least 10 of these with us when we go there. So we currently have 6, so let's wait. I'm gonna wait for like a couple more to be built. I've got the other logistics tower, and then I'll shoot off to the other planet, and I'll meet you on the other planet. Okay, so here we are back on Eta Puppis 4, and we're probably just going to do a little demolition and reorganization of these lines coming in here. We'll also probably have to move our... Actually, we'll need a lot more power over here because we are not making nearly enough power to power one of those logistics stations. And since we keep getting attacked from this side, I think if we just take a bunch of power plants and put them across here, it should be fine. I'm pretty certain that I brought a few of them with me and put them in one of these logistics towers, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So the first things first is we need a good location for this, and I'm feeling right here. So I think we just need to repurpose this little tower, put him over here. That way we make sure we've always got power connected, and then put our new interstellar logistics tower right here. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. And then we'll have to destroy all these lines so that we can bring everything in to this and then have all of our titanium finally being sent off into space and to us. So all of these, they're gonna have to go. And yes, I know it's gonna be a lot of just litter on the ground. I don't really care. Okay, so I've got all this rebelted in and it's kind of looking nice. I mean, it all kind of comes up nice and smoothly. We've got 2 lines coming in here, but I wanted to make sure that I got this power kind of hooked up before I destroyed some of these power producers, just because in case the Dark Fog decided to, you know, attack us again right before the end. All of the containers that I destroyed, I went ahead and put them on the line so they can feed into these lines and keep, you know, the flow going. It should trickle themselves out eventually. So let me go ahead and hook up this last line into the tower here. Just bring it across like so and into the tower. Boom. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right. So with that done, all we got to do is go back to the planet and set up our tower over there. All right, so we've got our tower already set up here, and all I think we have to do is just tell it to demand it. And then once we do that, these things should kick off into outer space. So we'll request that and we'll go remote demand, and there they go. Our interstellar fleet is off and running. Oh my gosh, that is such a cool little thing. There they go. Off into outer space. All different directions, but you know, hey, it is what it is. So we can also make sure that this is a local supply. So we'll actually request our purity silicone and we'll do a remote demand on that as well. So we should be able to get both of those in the trucks. So let's look into outer space and see if we can see our fleet anywhere. There it is. Nice. That is, it kind of looks like a happy face. That's kind of my face right now. Happy face. So what about Eta Puppis? Oh, it's sending its fleet as well. It's kind of like in a spiral. I like that. Now, the one thing I know, as you can see, it's going right across the orbital pattern here of the hive. I feel like we are probably going to lose some ships to the hive, because that sucker will probably launch some things and come after these guys just as soon as they realize what's happening. Yeah, you can't have your titanium. No, sir. Happy face. That's cool. Ah, man. Okay. Well, that is going to be it. I don't think that we're going to get into the gas collection in this episode, because I'm pretty certain that this is all we can handle for one episode with the power thing and getting these things all kind of nailed down. I know we got a lot done today, and just making sure that the logistic towers are being kind of made in the background so we can have them in the future. Oh man, that is a lot. We got a lot accomplished. This entire production line, plus a whole new power production and some interstellar logistics, is being done. Oh my gosh. But thank you for watching to the end. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it does help out the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be alerted of any time any Dyson Sphere or any other content gets uploaded to the page. Hit one of the buttons at the end of the screen so you can see what else we've been playing. And don't forget to keep gaming for the love of games. Bye now.